One major concern that nobody is talking about as it pertains to the Miami Hurricanes in their upcoming season. Yes, they're national championship contenders, but this one area, this one group, if they don't get it right, it could be a long year for Miami. What's going on, 305 Nation? Welcome back to another video, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Got a lot to discuss today, and we're going to get into the latest with the Hurricanes. But before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hype up this video, and make sure you share it and tell a friend. And join and become a member, man. We're building a great community here on the channel. Georgia Tech fans, Georgia fans, Tennessee fans, Texas fans, Alabama fans, Auburn fans. We covered it all this year as it pertains to high school football, which shows on Monday, and obviously college football. But let's talk about the Miami Hurricanes. And the one area nobody's talking about, and I think it's a major concern, and it is the offensive line. The offensive line is a major concern, in my humble opinion. You're replacing 4 starters from last year, Francis Makawa, right? Obviously, of course, and several other key players on this offensive line last season. Now, the 4 new guys, right, that you're going to be looking at that they're going to be obviously replacing and should have a big role this year. It starts with Samson Okunla, right? He's going to be a big-time guy at the left tackle spot for this Miami Hurricanes team, right? Remember, that was a spot that was, led by, multiple people that did a really good job last year, right? Then left guard, that's the biggest one. Remember, because Francis McGowan was big-time interior offensive lineman for them. He's in the NFL. He's going to have a big-time role this year, obviously, in professionals. He's going to play left guard, right? Now, the reason that is a concern is he's a great player, 5-star prospect. They nabbed him away from Georgia, right? For Miami, he has to be good. This has to work, right? They're paying him a lot of money. I think it might be close to $2 million per year. So it's a major year for Cantwell. And if he fails, it could be ugly, right? I'm not saying he's not good, I'm not saying he's not ready, but he's going to have to definitely mold into one of those guys. If he does, you have a staple left guard for years to come, okay? So that's going to be a major key for Miami. Then you look at the center position, right? Ryan Rodriguez is expected to be the starter. Let's pull up what was said via MiamiHurricanes.com and what Mario Cristobal had to basically say about Ryan Rodriguez. Okay, we're going to pull up the share screen here in a second. Okay, so here was the camp report. Here's what was said. He says, Ryan's seen it all. And Ryan has been through a lot of stuff. He's been through some very significant injuries, and yet there's never been any flinch in him. He's multiple. He can play center. He can play guard. People don't realize he can play tackle as well. He can play emergency tackle, and he's done it really, really well. But when you're the center and you walk in that room, the entire room has to recognize you, recognize that you're the baddest blank in that room, and everyone has to feel that presence, right? And the more Ryan plays with this group of guys in different parts that move around and how they're communicating every day, he's getting a ground to do that better and better and better. And having SJA there to push him, as well as having Rise Woodrow, who's doing a really good job up at the ante in terms of competition at that position, is bringing out the best in Ryan. But credit to him for really taking care of his body, getting in really good shape. He's been able to go, and he's proven that now he's a durable football player. So, well, Ryan, obviously a great football player, great coach by Mario Cristobal, but you're looking at a situation where he's had injury concerns, right? He's been a guy that's been battling injuries. Continue to work, continue to get good, but they know at the center position, you like you said, you got to be the baddest MF, right? You got to be one of those dudes, those guys, because one, you're the leader of those 5, and they're gonna look to you when it comes to making checks, changing protections, all that stuff. You have to be a main communicator this upcoming season. So Ryan Rodriguez is a name definitely to watch out for the offensive line. He's beginning some good competition from Woodrow. Will he be ready and good to go this upcoming season? That will obviously tell us a lot, and he's becoming the leader, right? Open competition. You heard Mario Cristobal, basically open competition, but for obviously Rodriguez taking it on and knowing that he's going to play a big role this year and knowing that his success ultimately weighs on the success of the team this upcoming year. Okay, so there is that. All right, the last 2 guys that I want to talk about on this offensive line as I pull it up is right guard Max Buchanan, likely will be the starter there, and you have right tackle Matthew McCoy. Okay, so those are expected to be the guys. Now, I don't think they lack in talent. right? I don't think this is a group that can't get it done. But this is a big year because you look at last year with the Hurricanes, they did a good job of protecting Carson Beck. They did a good job of running the football with Mark Fletcher, Gerard Pringle, those boys. They're gonna need that again, right? I'm not concerned as much with the wide receivers or the running. Like I know they're gonna do what they do, but we need this offensive line to one win the trenches, right? When we look at Miami last year, they were so dominant because they won both sides of the ball. You weren't messing with their 6'7", 6'8" tackles. Their guards were moving people, and then defensively dominated with Ruben Bain and Akeem Messenger, right? And Ahmad Moulton, right? Like they was dominating consistently, right? And for Miami to do what they want to do again in the ACC, they have to dominate. And I think looking at this year, they're gonna have to dominate the line of scrimmage, right? That's gonna be very important. And then you have to protect Darian Minto, right? He's the franchise. This is his last year, right? We know he's gonna throw the ball well. We know he's gonna find the right reads, but you have to be able to protect him, and it has to be instinct, right? The offensive line has to know, oh, zero blitz is coming from this slot cornerback or this nickel. Oh, this linebacker is gonna pressure through the A gap. Like those are things they're gonna have to know and be able to do. And when you have four new starters or four new players on the offensive line that's gonna start for you, that's a big thing because sometimes you have communication issues, sometimes you have protection issues, sometimes you have, different things that come into the fray. And we've seen this throughout. For new guys, that's not going to always blend or emerge very well, right? Early on in the season, right? You have the first couple of games, like it takes them time. That's the cool part about offensive line. It takes time to heat up. It takes time to gel, to get cohesion, right? So all five of these guys can play, but will they be able to kind of merge together in time, right? Now, Miami, I think, has a very favorable schedule, right? When you look at, like I said, Stanford's in there, you know what I'm saying? They're going to play a very favorable schedule. The hardest opponents will be Clemson and then obviously Notre Dame is some of their toughest opponents, as we talked about. Florida State's a rivalry, so you never know what can happen there. But those are some of your toughest games. VT would be probably another really good one, too. But hopefully by those points they play those teams, this offensive line is gelling and going. But you're not gonna sit here and tell me you replace four new players, four starters on the offensive line, and just expect them to hit the gates running the first game. Like, bro, no. Like that would be foolish to think, right? It's gonna take time. So I do think this is a concern for Miami. And I do think it will take time, right? Most people are glazing over this and they're enamored with, Malachi Tony and Cooper Barkay and, what I'm saying, Damian Wilson and Muhammad Toure. Rightfully so, right? Bryce Fitzgerald, throw him in there as well. Rightfully so. But we cannot ignore the significance of having this new offensive line, right? And we know the ceiling. We know Miami wants to get to a national championship. But to do that, your offensive line has to be good and it has to be dominant, right? It changes from year to year. Miami had a good year, but that line was different, right? And it changed the perception to everybody in the Hurricanes of what they wanted to do, right? So in order for that to maintain a reality of, okay, we can get back there, right? The offensive line has to be dominant. It's just that simple. How soon will they be dominant? I don't know. Will these guys struggle against pass or the run, right? Will they struggle in pass protection or will they struggle in run blocking it to the second level, right? Will the holes look as gaping big as we seen last season from Mark Fletcher, right? Those are some major questions for Miami moving forward, and it takes time, right? And in the Stanford game, while most people will think, oh, yeah, they'll win, that's a cross country trip to start the season. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be an easy game. Stanford going to come and play, even though Stanford looks completely different. New head coach, Tavita Pritchard, right? But they're going to be ready to play. So if you're Miami, you can't sleepwalk, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see the edge they have, the push they get, how they get able to move people. You know what I'm saying? And how good they're going to be in the early going to start the season. That's going to say a lot, right? You don't want to peak, of course, right? You want to peak at the right time, which Miami did last year. But this offensive line is a concern, right? For new starters, you're not going to sit here and tell me, oh, no, yeah, everything's all good. No, that is a concern. So we'll see what happens. I do believe in Mario Cristobal. I do believe in Ryan Rodriguez. I do believe in Jackson Cantwell. Young guy. I believe in him. We'll see if they'll be able to get going early in the season or if it will take time to develop. And you'll know by the numbers. You'll know by the pressure rate. You'll know by, what I'm saying, how often it gets the backfield, the sacks, the TFLs. You'll also know by the YPC, the yards per carry by the running backs, right? How many yards are they getting after contact, right? Are they having big gaping holes, right? Are they constantly getting hit in the backfield? We'll know all that, and that will be indicative of the offensive line. So that's the one major concern that could stop Miami from winning a natty this upcoming year. Outside of that, they all the strengths they have looks good. But that is one weakness. And we'll see. Maybe it's a weakness turned strength, depending on how fast they gel together. But that's gonna do it for today's show. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hype up this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. And remember, always sending peace and blessings.